Previously at SCE, you might remember that the villainous Super Sinister had captured the assistant principal, Dr. Major Holland, and had trapped her behind a force field. And as much as Super Sycamore had tried to free her, the force field was too much for him. Sadly, it was only when our hero agreed to leave the school that Super Sinister let Dr. Major Holland go. Now, without a hero to stop him, Super Sinister has taken over the building.
Stamps on work that catches his eye. Hard work is what he needs to see. Enthusiastic's how you need to be. Respect is his golden rule. Organized to be the best in school. Sycamore teachers teach the kids new things. Sycamore comes out at night, stamping super work that students do right. If you want Super Sycamore to notice you, don't be discouraged when something is hard to do. Work hard and be excited. Show respect and organize until the top.
Episode 61, SCE Avengers. Now that no one is here to stop him, Super Sinister has the run of the place. And the first thing on his to-do list is to get rid of the posters and the cutouts that show Super Sycamore. And he thinks what a better way to do that than to cover them up with pictures of himself. Not even the statue is safe. And neither is Logan Blanchard's family tree, who has just gained a new relative. Poor kid. As all of this graffiti is going on, there might be some good news on the way. It turns out a hero in a trench coat and fedora is sneaking back into the building. How'd you like to look in the mirror and see that reflection staring back at you? Yikes. Still in disguise, Super Sycamore is watching Super Sinister over the security cameras as he tries to figure out the best way to stop this mayhem from continuing. For the 100th day of school, kindergartners took pictures of what they'll look like in 100 years. And I guess Super Sinister wanted to join in too. STEM room, it's clear that Super Sinister is up to something. He's building and putting together things that can only lead to wreckage. Seeing what's happening in the STEM room, Super Sycamore is becoming more concerned. Unaware that he's being watched, Super Sinister takes a break to do what the sign says not to do, before going back to building, well, whatever it is he's building. Students, be sure to follow what the signs say so you aren't like Super Sinister. Back in the classroom, Super Sycamore knows that his nemesis needs to be stopped, but he also realizes that doing this is too big of a job for one hero, so he decides to assemble a team of his own. He makes some calls to people who have a particular set of skills that will help him stop whatever Super Sinister is planning. Once Super Sycamore's friends agree to help, he exits the classroom and gets rid of his costume. No more hiding. Super Sinister will know that the hero is back. The first one on board is Cyber Sycamore, Super Sycamore's sister, who is also a tech genius. The next one to come is the original bucket-dipping villain turned bucket filler and famous opera singer, Dr. Dipper. Finally, to complete his team is the former villain known as Major Mayhem, who is now filling buckets with good music as a famous DJ. And with that, I give you the SCE Avengers. Now that hope is restored, we turn our attention back to the issue of Super Sinister. Having prepared everything he needs, it's now time for Super Sinister to put his plans into action. He starts with the work neuralizer, which destroys all student work in a flash. With the push of a button, hard work that was hanging on display for people to see suddenly has disappeared. Luckily for us, Cyber Sycamore is ready. She uses her transporter to pop into the pod, and she works to figure out what she's up against. Once she figures that out, she creates a computer virus that reverses the neuralizer and restores the missing work. After winning the battle, she grabs the neutralized neuralizer and transports away. As that happens, Super Sycamore has decided to go around collecting trash to minimize the damage. He realizes that the less there is around, the less ammunition Super Sinister has to mess up the school. And it's a good thing that he did, because Super Sinister has created a trash cannon, which is blasting trash everywhere. When Super Sycamore sees that, he flies by and disables it using a very powerful super stamp. Threat neutralized. As a way to keep adding to the clutter, the villain has tied rope to some chairs so that he can drag them around and knock things over. But while taking a necessary break, Dr. Dipper uses a logical strategy and takes the key from the ignition, rendering the super scooter useless. Consider that plan foiled. But what isn't foiled is Super Sinister's next plan, the devacuumer, which throws trash out instead of vacuuming it up. It makes the classrooms into trash rooms, and no classroom is safe.
Push the tempo, push the tempo, push the tempo, push the tempo, push the tempo.
Fortunately, Major Mayhem knows exactly what to do. He finds the perfect frequency on his DJ mixing board that short circuits a devacuumer, making it a re-vacuumer. Confused about why the devacuumer is no longer working, he abandons that plan and moves on to the next one. Thinking that they've won, our heroes meet in the hallway to do some celebrating, unaware that the biggest danger of all is heading their way, the Tornado Terrorizer. As they do some less than coordinated high-fiving, they're suddenly surprised by the vortex from the Tornado Terrorizer. Our heroes are knocked over. They're whirled down the hallway like tumbleweeds in a desert, and everything gets blown away. With such a strong machine like the Tornado Terrorizer, our heroes can't battle back, giving Super Sinister the victory. Or does it? Super Sycamore gets an idea, thanks to some of the zoom tubes from the STEM room that were blown down the hallway with him. With a quick look from Super Sycamore, the SCE Avengers know exactly what to do. Super Sycamore quickly uses his super speed to build a tube track quickly. Not an easy job with such a strong wind, but he's up to the task. Major Mayhem uses his extra strength batteries from his DJ headphones to give the Zoom Tube car remote extra power. Dr. Dipper uses his incredible strength to brace the Zoom Tube structure as Super Sycamore builds it so that it doesn't fall apart. Finally, Cyber Sycamore uses her technology skills to download a virus to the Zoom Tube car that will, hopefully, disable the Tornado Terrorizer. It's difficult to focus with so much wind blowing around, but she manages to complete her part, and even play a little ST map in the process. They quickly pass the Zoom Tube car down the line to Super Sycamore, and he puts it in the tube at the far end. The Zoom car races down the tubes towards the target. It launches and hits the Tornado Terrorizer. Bullseye. The plan worked. The machine shuts down, and the exhausted Avengers congratulate each other. After all, teamwork makes the dream work. And with that, the SCE Avengers go to confront Super Sinister. It's time he knows why his machines failed each time. By trusting his teammates and using each team member's strengths, Super Sycamore and the others were able to accomplish the goal they had set out to do, defeating Super Sinister.